Hey, all my scrapbooking friends. I am coming to you with another amazing layout. Today we are working with Felicity by Traci Designs. Y'all, the colors in this are, I just love all the pops of green. I don't know what it is with me lately. Maybe it's because I'm in Michigan and like there's no green to be had at this point. I don't know. But I'm loving it. And we are going to, these are pictures like I have not even dove into yet at this point. These are pictures again of, I just did one, for the renewal, I think it was renewal of, the ocean of Mexico. And now I am officially probably going to put the first page of Mexico together. Don't forget when you are doing digital products that there is like different mediums to print these things out. So you can do it on regular just photo paper. You can do it on vellum. I've seen people like printing things on canvas paper. Like, definitely just remember, like, there are different ways to use your digital products. So, all right, I'm going to finish cutting this out and throw you to the voiceover and get this started.
All right, guys, so here I am just cutting out these embellishments. Like I mentioned just before, I know that was a little choppy. There was a story I was telling and it was like, it was kind of boring. I thought it was good at the beginning, but a little boring. Anyways, so don't forget to think of different ways to print out your embellishments on vellum, on canvas paper, on different types of things to make your digital products go further and more interesting. So in this collection, there isn't, there is one in the digital, scrapbooking kit, I should say it is. There is a little bit of a, what do you want to call it? Ink splatter type circle-ish. I didn't want to add any more circles to this one, right? So, or at least like that type of circle, because I guess these ink spots are still a little circular. I wanted the ink spots. So using, of course, this amazing stamp from Feed Your Craft that unfortunately is just not available anymore. I am searching for a company that has put out ink spots like this. Now, I am finding a couple of companies that have like one or two on their stamp sets, but not like a whole stamp set like this, like Studio Calico or Allie Edwards that do the stamp sets, and or L Studios. Come on, guys. Like, if it's not apparent, we are begging for another stamp set like this. I think like whenever I use a stamp set, it is my most asked like stamp set question that I get. And I also see it on like Momcraft Run. She uses it a lot and she gets tons of questions also about it. And unfortunately, Feed Your Craft did go out of business, so it's just not available anymore. Which I'm so excited when they had their sale that I did scoop it up, because probably one of my most used stamp sets. So just matting that one on the blue paper, the blue line paper, I should say. And I did cut this all out in my silhouette, as you seen there, except for I didn't cut the vellum pieces out. My silhouette doesn't like reading vellum. I still haven't quite figured it out yet. I've used 50 million techniques and still haven't figured it out. So put that all down and then was like, oh yeah, I have to put all these behind it. I'm so silly. Anyways, you're also going to see here that I had a feeling this was going to happen, but, I still went for it. But when you put that "life is sweet" down on the paper, it just gets lost. And so I am going to reprint that out on photo paper to make it stand out more. A good thing about this vellum / how it's printed on is that I can use my Tombow mono adhesive, and you cannot see the vellum behind it, especially, like I said, if it's printed on this way. So just using some embellishments to go around this whole, to break up the harsh lines pretty much. But I just go through and find some embellishments to make a little cluster, which was a label, one of the hearts, and then an arrow that says love this day. Digital pages come together obviously so much quicker. I do spend a little bit more time on the computer, of course, but once I get to this point, it tends to go pretty fast. As you can see, this is only about a 9-minute video, and honestly, I cut probably a good 2 minutes fussing with this title. So one thing, I didn't want a title that was just like so black, I guess. I don't know. And honestly, this color like matched that green color so well, even though it was like a little bit of a bluish hint. From here, you can see that it just matched so well. Unfortunately, the letters were just a bit too big. I was trying to work with it, as you can see here. This is such old thickers, guys. I have like 100,000 thickers still that I'm working through one day. I liked it, and now that I see it here, honestly, I could have just left it. I could have just left it, but I just didn't love it. So here I go, peeling it all back off and putting those back in there. I'm like, just throw them in there. I'll use some adhesive to stick them on whatever I used to stick them on. And go over and grab a paper person stamp set. Unfortunately, I don't know if this one is available either anymore. I'm sorry, guys. They take stamp sets away from us so quickly, right? I will link it below if it is available. Even if they have the digital of it, I will link that below. And stamp this out. So yes, I went back to black, but because it's not filled in, I think that it doesn't detract from, and almost messed up there. Did you see that? It doesn't detract from the rest of the spread, and it leaves it pretty airy. But yeah, I almost stamped an A where there should have been that N, and I would have been so upset. But yeah, that is, I think, I'm going to come back and of course put that Love is Sweet embellishment back behind there. I had to go reprint it. I did just print my journaling straight onto the backdrop of this page when I made it in Photoshop. It's the easiest way. Obviously, when I'm already working in digital, I might as well. I think here I am going to get that Love is Sweet. Okay, so there's that Love is Sweet. Unfortunately, I don't do the best of job at placing this down. And I wish I went in just a smidgen more, because as you see, I'm about to cut off the extras, and that edge is a little bit too tight. You see me flip it back over here. See, I'm like, ooh, yeah, a little tight. But you know what? I'm going to work with it. I think it would have covered up my husband's face a little bit. So it is what it is. That sometimes is stuff that happens. So thank you guys so much for being here. Definitely hit that subscribe button if you are new, and I will see you in the next one.